It is time to talk fishing with Joby Houghtaling from the Pecos Valley Bassmasters. Hadn't seen you in a couple of weeks. Have you been able to go fishing, Joby?
I have not.
What?
Gone fishing.
You have got to go fishing.
I threatened to go yesterday, but didn't go.
Yeah.
And thought about going Saturday, but didn't go.
You need to go fishing.
I think I'm going to fish at least this. We've got 2 tournaments coming, Saturday and Sunday.
This weekend. You are going fishing, Joe.
Well, I appreciate that. I think I am on Saturday.
Okay.
I think I've made the decision. I'm going to go down there, and I was talking to one of our members this morning. And he said, "Now we're going to line up on the 3 or 4 good spots, and Brantley Lake is so low, and it's just going down
right?
daily.
Wow.
They've turned the water loose a while back, and they is in the state, I guess, that controls those such things, and it's just draining fast.
Well,
and
I noticed
20, 25 feet down now, more maybe.
More. I noticed there's not much in the Pecos River.
Yeah, so there's not much coming.
Now
but
the
there's
irrigation
a lot going.
ditches are full down in Carlsbad,
yes,
because that's what's those requirements are being met right now.
Right, and so the lake is really low, and like I said, one of our members called me this morning and said, "Hey, I'm planning on." He's another one that hasn't fished any this year, and he said, "Well, I'm planning on fishing this weekend." He said, "But are we going to just line up on this?" And because with the water so low, it's definitely, I'm sure, changed. I know has changed where the fish are, because when you drop 25 feet, there's a lot of places that a month ago was wet, underwater. The last tournament we had down there that was underwater and was a great successful tournament. We had 2 last month. And the water was dropping then, but it was still up considerably from where it is today and where it will be this coming weekend. And they caught, I didn't fish those 2 tournaments, but the guys that did, the folks that did, had great 2 days of tournaments, caught a lot of fish, a lot of good fish. But now, with it down even an additional 20 or so feet, and probably more than that, where they caught them last month is out of water, and, it's dry land now. So anyway, it's going to be an interesting couple of tournaments with our lake being drained as fast as it is. Brantley has been pretty good this year for fishermen, but we'll just have to see what happens. But there is 2, and they're both team tournaments. Saturday team tournament, Sunday a team tournament. So it's 2 one-day team tournaments at Brantley Lake this coming weekend.
Okay, and so you can either fish in both or fish on Saturday or fish on Sunday. You will have competed in a tournament either way that you want to do that.
Yes, and I originally sent out an email this morning to all of our membership, followed by the PayPal invoice email. Mm-hmm. And then one of our members texted me and said, "Hey, I can't figure out how to pay for one day," and I realized I didn't set a minimum payment. You can do a partial payment with PayPal, and I forgot to set that. So I had to build a new invoice and send that back out. And I sent a text out to all of our membership saying that they came to please disregard the first PayPal invoice, use the second to pay. But in case you're out there, you're listening or watching here on KSVP and KSVP Facebook, and you didn't see my text, the reason you got 2 PayPal invoices is because I messed up on the first one. But yes, you can choose to fish one or both tournaments. You can choose, if you use the PayPal invoices, you can choose to pay for the entire invoice, which includes you and your partner, and you can pay for 1 day or 2 days, both days, or you can just pay for yourself and 1 day or 2 days, 1 day or both days. In my text and in my email, I just reminded everybody to please shoot me a text or an email telling me, like, if you choose to fish 1 day and you're just paying for yourself, I'll need a little more information. So send me what day you're fishing and who you're fishing with. If you are fishing both days and you pay the entire invoice, go ahead and shoot me a text. Hey, this is who's fishing with me. Mm-hmm. I guess bottom line is shoot me a text, tell me who you're fishing with, no matter what.
Okay.
Because that way I can put them on the weigh-in sheets. I can have everything. And for the most part, I usually know who's fishing with who, because they, most of our membership has a partner that they fish with on a regular, if not complete basis. But sometimes that changes, and people fish with others that they normally don't fish with. So Yeah, send that to me if you're watching or listening right now, and you didn't see my text or email. Know that you've got them in your inbox. And number two, you can send me who you're fishing with. I would appreciate that.
I was trying to find the current boating conditions, but they were last updated May 9th.
Yeah.
So that's almost a month ago.
Yeah.
And they've been releasing water out of there, so I probably shouldn't even mention what these numbers are because that...
No, it's completely changed. And and that's the other thing. When I send out the email on Thursday, I'll remind all those... Because the process is we send out the invoices and basic information on Monday morning to our entire membership, and then everybody has till Thursday at noon to get entered and paid. And right here I'll say this: if you don't want to use PayPal, I say this every time, and I think everybody knows this, but if you choose not to use PayPal, just call or text me, and we'll meet up and get your entry fees. Just need to be done by Thursday at noon. But anyway, Thursday at noon is the deadline to enter, and then sometime between noon and that night, depending on my schedule, and usually it's closer to the evening time, I'll send an email out to everybody that entered with very specific information, including blast off, where we're going to meet, which boat ramp we're going to put in at, blast off time, weigh-in time, all the specifics about the team tournaments. And also I'll remind them then, and I'll say it now, because of the lake being drained as fast as it is, we just need to be really careful. There's going to be a lot of things sticking up out of the water that didn't back in May when we fished it last, and there may be hazards that are just under the water, and we just need to be really careful. The Park Service does a pretty good job putting out buoys, hazard areas where there's things like that, but with it changing so quickly, they may not have been able to cover all the ground, all the lake out there, and so we just got to be really careful on the waters. Try to stay in the channels when we're up on plane, and then when not on plane, just kind of putt around, or at least that's what I'm going to recommend to everybody. I hate for somebody to lose a boat or get injured, flying across the water and hit a rock that you can't see.
Right.
But your boat finds it.
That you normally would not even be anywhere
and normally
near.
With the water's up, you probably wouldn't even be near. You're right. So,
wow.
And there's a lot of rocks out there. There's a lot of old stuff in that lake bed, because it used to just be a canyon. It used to be canyons and normal ground. So, and I'll put that just as a reminder, and then we'll talk about it again, I'm sure, on Saturday and Sunday. Just to remind everybody, we just want to be safe. And not have anybody get injured or lose a boat.
Off the top of your head, do you know who the points leaders are right now?
Off the top of my head, I don't.
Okay. Is it on the website?
It is on the website. I think I updated it on our website. We can look.
pvbm.club. And I'm looking it up here.
That's fine.
And we'll see here. So let's go to leaderboard.
Yes, and see if I've updated it.
2022.
I think I did.
And you've got Mike Hill
on the boater side.
It doesn't say which is which. I guess does that look correct?
That is correct. That's right. So those, I did update them. I did put them on there. So Mike Hill is leading, and what's his score? There it is on the screen.
So you can talk about it there, Joby.
So Mike is up by 4 points over Jerry Houghtaling. Now, here's what I'll say. The guys out there that are watching this may say, well, wait a minute. I fished some as a non-boater, some as a boater. If you have fished a tournament as a boater at all, that's where I've got you right now. But at the end of the year, if you fish more as a non-boater, then I'll put you over there. If you fished more as a boater, then I'll put you on that side, because we have an angler of the year and a co-angler of the year, or boater of the year, non-boater of the year. And so, like, for example, Jerry Houghtaling, my dad, has fished I think at least 4 tournaments as a non-boater. Lex Klein has fished some tournaments as a non-boater. So there's, there may be more down that list, but so the left side, it says boaters and non-boaters, so it's right there.
Yeah, I see it now.
So
I'm sorry.
That's okay. So Catherine and Mike they fish together every tournament, and they're leading it right now. That we've had some team tournaments all at Brantley, and then we've had all the rest of them have been individual. Well, the first tournament at Amstead was a team tournament of the year, and then we've had 4 more team tournaments at Brantley, and then the balance of the tournaments were all individuals. And anyway, Mike and Catherine leading the way on the boater and non-boater side. So that's where we're at right now.
So your top 5 On the boater side is Mike Hill at 1, Jerry Houghtaling at 2, Lex Klein at 3, Mark Wolliver at 4, and Byron Heiser at 5. And then the top 5 non-boaters are Catherine Martinez at 1, Jeff Heath at 2, Amber Heiser at 3, Andrew Houghtaling at number 4, and Jericho Testerman at number 5.
And Andrew is the opposite. He's over on the non-boater side, but he has been the boater a few times. So it depends on where all these different folks end up at the end of the year is where I'll end up putting them. If they have, like I said, more times on as the boater, then they'll be on the boater side. More times the non-boater, they'll be on the non-boater side. But we've had some bounce between the two categories. So Andrew and Jericho have actually fished together 4 of the tournaments, and Andrew was the boater. And that's the other thing. If people are looking at the points, the reason there's such a vast difference in points as you go down the list is that's a total. That's a running total. So obviously Mike and Catherine have fished more tournaments than anybody else except for Jerry Houghtaling. Those 3 have fished. I believe those 3 have fished every tournament. But the balance is, you see the points start dropping. That means they either, they've missed some of the tournaments. So
yeah.
You can see down there at the bottom, number 14, 0. That's me. Because I have fished no tournaments. And you can see on the other side some zeros. That just means that those folks haven't fished any tournaments yet.
Well, let me ask this on behalf of Brad.
Brad Young. Why is he not 14?
0. Why is he not 14?
Really, we're all 14th. I just didn't change it to reflect that. Same thing on the other side. Really, everybody's 12th from Chris Fuentes down. I don't know. I don't remember. I think because I was part of, because as people paid their club dues is when I put them in. Although I think I paid really early. But anyway, that's how they got in there. And Brad paid early. So I don't know. Me and Brad were probably the first 2 to pay this year, and we're at the but that's why, because we haven't got any points yet. That's right. You got to add the 2 things together.
Yeah. I understand that. But I'm Brad sitting here looking, and wait a minute. Why am I 15 and Joby's 14 now?
Right. He's wondering. That's a good question.
So
there's several below Brad that are, and they're thinking the same thing. Why does Joby get to be at the top?
The top of the loser board.
The top of the loser board. That's because I wrote the loser board.
That's exactly right.
I guess that's why.
Well, really though, for anybody that's in the 4-digit, so from say for example on the boater side, Jeremy is 7th at 1,194.
Right.
So about half as many points. Well, not quite. A little more than half as many points as Mike at the top, but with the number of tournaments that are left.
Yeah, and plus we drop a bunch. So, they only, you take, I think it's our top 7 we're keeping. Or we might keep our top 9 because we've added 4 tournaments with doubling up on Brantley. But, so there's still plenty of time. I mean, theoretically, I think there's enough tournaments that if I fished every tournament here on out and I won them all, I'd probably win.
You could be up there at
Boater
the
of the
top.
year. I'd probably win it if I won every single tournament. So that would be an example. Or Brad or anybody that's got 0.
Yeah.
Or on the other side, Jeff or Chris and Rusty. That's not right. Maybe I haven't, because I got Jody Jackson in there. Rusty fished with Jody. I already see a mistake. I didn't get Rusty Crooks in there. He should have the same points as Jody Jackson does. So
yeah.
I'll fix that. But because they fished together at Brantley, they've only fished the 2 or 1 tournament at Brantley. But anyway.
So Rusty's wanting to know too.
Yeah, he's saying why do I have 0 and Jody's got 297? Something's not right.
Because a Houghtaling can't be last.
Because that's not last either. That might be 14 on that side. I can't remember how many more non-boaters we have. But a Houghtaling can be last. I'm sitting in last right now.
Yeah, but
tied with a bunch of people.
But Brad Young's below you.
No, he's
Rusty's
not. We're
below
tied.
Jeff,
No, they're tied. Jeff, Chris, and Rusty are tied. They're all 12th.
All right. So this weekend, Brantley Lake,
yes.
If you hadn't got your emails or if you've got questions about anything, just get a hold of Joby.
Check your email. You got it. Just check. And I sent it to everybody, so they got that. Plus a text. I sent a text out. And, those 2 pieces of technology are fantastic. Talk to people without having to talk.
Sometimes that's the better way, but
you can do it all in mass, and it's all done.
That's right. Well, good deal. Well, Joby, thank you so much. And we got about a minute left. When the water gets so low, do other species thrive better when it's lower water than this, or is this put stress on the bass?
I don't know if I don't think they necessarily thrive better. I know there's a lot of species out there at Brantley. There's catfish, there's walleye, there's perch, carp. and of course bass. I don't know that, and shad. That's what there's a lot of bait fish. I mean, I think the fishing is still going to be good. It's just going to be different in terms of where we find them.
Gotcha. All right, Joby. Well, thank you. Well, good. Go fishing this weekend.
I think I'll go Saturday.
Go fishing.
Yeah.
You need to do that.
You're right.
So, all right. Well, thanks a lot. Appreciate you coming in. And
all right, thank you.
Thanks to Rob and his crew for the coffee and the pastries that we have. A couple of delicious scones. There's one less of the naughty buns left because we tried to tell Jeffrey that
he wouldn't like it.
But the more we told him he wouldn't like it,
the more he said, I want it.
That's right. Right.
Reverse psychology
it didn't
work.
It didn't work.
I guess it did work. It did work. It worked perfect. I should have told him they were delicious.
There you go. All right, Joby.